I remember my first attempt at comedy. Well, it's the earliest attempt at comedy that I could think of anyway, so I'm going to share it with you now. It was, I don't remember what grade it was, but I remember I was in history class, and and the teacher's like, today we're going to be studying the Great Depression. And I just remember, you know how witty I can be, just like the snap of a fucking whip. I just got up out of my chair and I'm like the Great Depression. I'm like, that's when I lay down on the leather couch, and yeah, not a single person fucking laughed. I think one guy in the back row like gave a slow clap, but it was more of a mocking clap. So I guess what I'm saying is not much has changed with me. I'm still not getting laughs. Welcome everybody back to Not Rich Just Bored, episode number 38. I've almost done 40 episodes of this fucking thing. It's actually kind of unreal. It's crazy how time flies, and you kind of do something, you set your mind to it, and it just kind of flies by after a while. It's just like I don't even necessarily think about doing the podcast. It's just like it's ingrained in my schedule. Every Wednesday I record, unless I have to do it on a different day. But it's like every Tuesday you hit the old every Wednesday, yeah, load her up. Then Thursday's the release date, so it's been consistent, which is good. And yeah, I was just thinking about uh earlier today. That's why I opened with that comedy bit there. I remember I was kind of thinking back to like my past, and I'm like, was I always like? I'm not trying to say I was funny. I mean, I tried to be funny. Funny is, you know, it. It's like beauty's in the eye. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Well, funny is kind of subjective. I think I'm fucking hilarious in my own head, but some people probably think I'm just an insane person. So I was like, what was my first joke? And I'm like, there was that Great Depression moment. That was kind of funny. But yeah, I got a few things going on here today. I'm gonna move actually my Discord over here. It's funny. Last week with Ryan, I was talking about Predator 2, and I was like, I want to watch that, and I ended up watching it because I guess on Disney Plus they have like they have the Predator collection. They have every Predator movie on there, including obviously the new one, Prey. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty fucking sick. So I can watch all of them. But I watched Predator 2 because I haven't seen that one in quite a while. So, and it still holds up. I still like it. It's kind of it is definitely the oddball of the series. It's kind of, I don't know. It's very weird, and it's one of those crazy that movie. Like as a kid, it didn't scare me watching it young, but like the crazy gang members scared me. Like the Jamaicans and all that doing their voodoo magic, and I think the other one was supposed to be like the Mexican cartel or whatever. But like they all fucking like it scared the fuck out of me as a kid because I didn't know anything, right? So everything I did, I consumed through movies and television. So I just assumed that's what it was like in those big cities. Like I think Predator 2 is supposed to be taking place in LA, I guess. I don't think they ever say it. What city is Predator 2 based? Yeah, it says based on here. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's saying Los Angeles, like I said. It's I don't know if they ever say it in the actual it's obviously filmed in Los Angeles, but and the the city is very clearly Los Angeles. Actually, now that I think about it, I think at the beginning credits they said it says like Los Angeles 1997. So I'm just being stupid. But either way, we confirmed it. And I just assumed that's what those big cities were like. And I mean, maybe they were like that time. I don't know, but like, it just made me terrified. I'm like, I never want to go there. I'm like, I'm gonna be walking down the street, and all of a sudden I'll be a ritual sacrifice or something. Ugh, like fuck that. Um, yeah, like I said, there's a few things. And when I was on, I had a lot of time the other night, because I was just bored, and I'm like, I'm just gonna sit down and watch something because I haven't watched anything. And I watched Predator 2, and then I had more time, and I'm like, I'm on Disney Plus, and I saw She-Hulk on there. And people have been criticizing She-Hulk the whole time. They've been saying it's like it's a piece of shit fucking bullshit, and the CGI is terrible, and blah 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 blah. And I'll be honest, and I'll be the first to admit this. I'm not really into the Marvel movies anymore. Obviously, I like Doctor Strange because I love Doctor Strange. He's like literally one of my favorite. He might be my favorite MCU character. He's just a fun character, and all his movies are really good. So I liked watching his movies still. But like other than that, like I don't watch any of these fucking shows like Falcon and the Winter Soldier or WandaVision or any of these bullshit shows that are just because to me they're just like shovelware, right? You get like your main series thing, like you get your Avengers movies and all your MCU guys, and then like on the CW or whatever the fuck it was, I can't remember who had it originally. There was Agents of Shield, and that was like the only TV show at the time besides like what was there for a TV show? I think there was Daredevil, I think. But that didn't go anywhere. I think it was only a few seasons. But, other than that, there's, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and that's really about it. But now, like, since Disney Plus is a thing, they've kind of been. They got the MCU license, so they've been jacking out all these fucking uh series, and there's like just it's just to me it's shovelware. It's just I don't know. It just doesn't interest me. I guess that's what I'm saying. It's all minor characters, and the minor characters, um, they do well in the movies. Like obviously, Captain America: Winter Soldier is like one of the best. It's one of the best Marvel movies. And I like Bucky as a character, but it's just like I don't need to watch a standalone show of him. What made his character really good was him playing off of Chris Evans. Same with the Falcon. What made him good was playing off Chris Evans and the other characters in the big budget movies. It might be a good show. I don't know. I'm just saying I don't really. I just don't care. But this She-Hulk thing, I didn't really care much about either. But then I've seen all the criticisms of it and all this other bullshit coming out. So I was like, well, maybe I'll check it out. I don't want to be because I don't like to be the cynical guy that just like doesn't watch things just because people say. I mean, especially when Ryan's on a show, we've discussed you know probably dozens of different things on the show that have been hammered by critics, but then people love it. The people that watch it, consume it, actually love it. And it's just that's how critics are, right? They just want to kind of review bomb things. But this is one where it was a bunch of guys apparently, and they were review bombing it without even ever watching it, and I don't know why. It was something. I think it was like incels because it was like a She-Hulk and something about it. I'm gonna look up why people were why were people hating on She-Hulk. Because I'm gonna look at it and I'm gonna tell you what I didn't like about it. Oh, oh, There's people are pissed we didn't hate She-Hulk episode 1. That's by the Angry Joe show. You could definitely trust with that fucking guy. Oh, She-Hulk is a cringe disaster from Ryan Kinnell. I don't know what that is. People also ask, what is the point of She-Hulk? Interesting. Yeah. Okay, so this is from CBR. They explain why people are hating it. Uh Oh, okay, yes. I did read about this that it's one of the reasons people were hating on it is cuz I think one of the VFX artists came out and was talking that about the crunch lines and stuff like that, and like they were talking about how like they were underpaid and they were expecting all this shit from them, and I guess it was just a bad thing all around for like the CGI artists, but I don't know, to me like I said, episode 1's the only episode that's out. I watched it and I don't I didn't hate it. I thought it was okay. The CGI looked, I don't know, to me it looked acceptable. I didn't think it was like shitty, like absolute dog shit or anything. But, it's obviously not huge budget CGI, but it's still I don't think it's worth the hate or anything like that. It's fine. But the overall story, the weirdest thing I didn't like about it was for some weird reason She-Hulk was pulling like a Deadpool and she was breaking the fourth wall like a couple times. Oh, excuse me. Like even the intro is her addressing the crowd, like, the audience. She was addressing the audience being like, oh, this is a funny crime, it's a lawyer show, nothing else, just a lawyer show. It's like I thought that was a little weird. And then yeah, later on it's like I can't remember what she said, but she just literally turns to the camera and like addresses the audience, and I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, I don't know. To me that doesn't make sense cuz the Marvel movies have never been like fourth wall breakers like that. It's always been, you know, as serious as a superhero movie can do, but it's serious to the source material. Obviously, the one that breaks the fourth wall is Deadpool, because that's his character. His whole fucking character is about breaking the fourth wall, and just, that's what he did. That's what he does in the comics and everything. That's what his character. The whole point of his character is to make fun of other comic book tropes and break the fourth wall to the audience. But yeah, I thought the She-Hulk thing, it was, like I said, I guess we'll see. I'll probably have to watch the rest of this series because um, I want to see where they go with it. Because obviously, for the promotional material, you saw that Abomination is going to be in it, and I believe is it Peter Stormare that's coming back as Abomination? Please, Abomination. Oh no, Tim Roth, is it? Fictional character. No shit. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, it was Tim Roth. Supposedly he's coming back to play Abomination in Disney Plus. And I saw the promotional material, like the trailer there, and it shows him like locked up, and he looks pretty cool and stuff. But I guess I don't know. I guess we'll see what they do with that. I actually like the original Hulk movie, like with because that one. Well, I can't say. See, this is tricky. This is what makes it tricky about this shit. It's because everybody's like, I like the original Hulk movie, and it's like, oh yeah, Lou Ferrigno, and I'm like, no, like I'm talking about Edward Norton, but then there's even one between them too. I think it was Eric Bana, Eric Bana was the Hulk as well. Eric Bana. Who was even the bad guy in that one? Eric Bana Hulk. Oh my god. Holy shit. I just looked up the Eric Bana Hulk. I forgot how fucking bad that CGI was. You want to talk about bad CGI? Wow. I feel like I need to watch that. I remember liking it a lot as a kid, just because it was a superhero guy. So, but it's wow, it's really funny looking it up now. And then the Edward Norton one looked better, but it was just like the classic Hulk still. Whereas, like, what the fuck's his name? Come on, Mark Ruffalo. Yeah, that's his name. Mark Ruffalo. When he played the Hulk, they actually made the Hulk's face look like his face. When he transformed, so that was the one kind of unique thing to him, and why his Hulk kind of, to me, looked better than the rest of them. And I mean, obviously, Lou Ferrigno's Hulk looked like him because it was fucking him, just in makeup. But yeah, I don't know. Either way, I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see what happens with it. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't think She-Hulk was that bad. The first episode was pretty fucking boring for the most part. And yeah, I don't know. Not much really happened. She just kind of trained with. You basically got her origin story and how she turned into a Hulk, and you kind of got the idea that uh, she revealed like kind of her secret power, where Bruce kind of had to take a lot of years to become Smart Hulk, whereas like she could just turn into the Hulk, but she retains like her normal personality. She's still like the same person, and I'm guessing later on she'll just be She Hulk all the time, and she'll just go into the courtroom as a Hulk normally. So I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens to it. I think I want to see it through to the end because I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it. Personally, I think she's kind of hot. Maybe I have a giantess fetish. If you guys don't know what the giantess fetish is, uh, I recommend not looking it up. Or if you do, make sure on a incognito mode. Or better yet, on the Brave browser. Otherwise, the government might be popping by your place. Um, but yeah, another small topic I had. I'll just mention it real quick here, because I thought it was, uh, well, not funny. It's more fucking stupid, but it's the human condition is funny. We'll put it that way. But I guess there's a bunch of people, that are being fucking weird. It's happening in, I guess, like the States for the most part, but that's where these cars are. But as you know, there's a certain car manufacturer called Tesla, and these Teslas have a special ability called auto drive or autopilot, where they just, remain cruise control, and I think it's actually adaptive cruise, so they can keep up or slow down with the flow of traffic. And then they stay in the lane. Whatever lane you're in, they'll stay in that lane. So it essentially drives itself, which I've already told you guys I don't fully trust it, and I don't think a lot of people trust it, but some people are taking it a little bit too far in the States, and they're actually, if they notice people that are on auto drive, they're actually they're actually attempting to swerve in front of them, and like essentially like brake check them almost. And I guess a few accidents have happened from it, and it's just literally people being fucking smartasses. And to me, it's kind of a jealousy thing. It's like, oh, this little fucker's being on auto drive. Oh, you don't want to drive your car like a real man, and they're swerving into their lane, and and like they're almost like fucking, you know, try to kill. Like to me, these people should be fucking charged with attempted murder because that's essentially what you're doing. You're trying to make a vehicle system fail and cause a car crash just because somebody's on auto drive. It's like, don't be a fucking loser. Like if you're listening to this and you're one of those fucking assholes that's doing that, fucking get help. Like I get it. You don't trust auto drive and you think people are fucking around, but that doesn't mean you tempt fate and try to actually make something fucking stupid happen. But I don't know. Either way, I just wanted to mention that people are fucking stupid, and yeah, they're trying to fucking swerve into people, which is really stupid. I have to bring up another. I have to bring up this other one. I'm bringing up an article right now. It's I didn't know much about this, but I heard it getting brought up on YouTube. People are bringing it up. So I just wanted to quickly look at it here. I really should be more prepared for this shit, but I work all day, guys. What do you want me to do? All I could do is what I hear from the word of mouth. But yeah, I'm just gonna kind of read this out here because I don't really understand what's going on fully. But this is from IGN. This is an article on IGN, and it was published yesterday, the 23rd of August. So Sony, meaning Sony Entertainment, the PlayStation guys, is being sued for 5 billion. It looks like 5 billion euros, which is 5.9 billion US dollars, over the price of its online PlayStation Store prices, with the plaintiff claiming Sony is overcharging consumers and abusing its position as the primary seller of PlayStation games digitally. As reported by Sky News, consumer rights advocate Alex Neil, the ex-managing director of nonprofit consumer advice organization which UK, what the fuck, that is a mouthful, is leading the legal action and said the game is up for Sony PlayStation. The lawsuit filed with the Competition Appeal Tribunal on August 19th states that consumers have been overcharged for digital purchases of games and DLC, as Sony is charging a 30% commission. Holy fuck. Fuck. Wait until these guys get a hold of Steam. I think Steam's commission is 50%. Just let me look that up real quick here. Steam commission. Because I'm pretty sure it's 50%. Oh, what? Oh, no. Okay, no, it's not as bad as that. That 5% is a transaction fee. Steam takes 30% of sales. So that's, yeah, so this is the same. Well, this might be an additional fee. That's what they're saying. On top, maybe? I don't know. But it goes on to say, with this legal action, I'm standing up for the millions of UK people who have been unwittingly overcharged, said Neil. We believe Sony has abused its position and ripped off its customers. Gaming is now the biggest entertainment industry in the UK, ahead of TV, video, and music. And many vulnerable people rely on gaming for community and connection. The actions of Sony is costing millions of people who can't afford it, particularly when we're in the midst of a cost of living crisis. Fucking amen, brother. And the consumer purse is being squeezed like never before. The crux of the lawsuit is that, as the primary and dominant seller of digital PlayStation products, Sony is in charge to overcharge. Or Sony is in a position to overcharge for its items, rather. The legal action claims it's doing exactly that, forcing consumers to overspend unfairly and as a result is in breach of competition law. So they're fucking going back to the old Nintendo lawsuit because Nintendo got sued for antitrust and unfair competition by Sega back in the day. I don't think it went anywhere, but it's a real thing, man. Like it's these fucking people. The thing is when they have a monopoly on merchandise or on their merchandise, they can do whatever the fuck they want. It's crazy, especially if they're the number one in that respective field. It goes on to read Sony dominates the digital distribution of PlayStation games and in game content, said Natasha Perman, the legal partner leading the case. Excuse me. Should have poured myself some water. I didn't get any water. It has deployed an anti competitive strategy which has resulted in excessive prices to customers that are out of all proportion to the cost of Sony providing its services. The estimated damages per individual over the last 6 years range from 67 euros, which is $79 American, to 562 euros or 664 American dollars, excluding interest, which amasses to 5 billion total euros. The lawsuit claims. And it says at the end, IGN has reached out to Sony for a comment. So obviously they want to know what's going on there. They feel like they're being overcharged. I'm guessing it's for it's for digital distribution, right? So, but there's a comment on the IGN article. Number one here is from Airwolf873. It says should have started with Nintendo. No one has charged more premium for games than them. Especially for old games. If anyone is ripping off consumers by landslide, it's them. At least MS, Microsoft, and Sony have competitive deals that easily beat whatever deals, in parentheses, Nintendo has to offer. It's, I actually have to agree with Airwolf on that one. And I've told people before, to me, Nintendo has the biggest fucking they have the biggest it's so weird because I don't fully I'm not a lawyer. I'm not She-Hulk lawyer, attorney at law here. So I'm not fully aware of all that shit, but I do think it's weird that this lawsuit is happening cuz if it is Sony products and with Nintendo it's Nintendo products, like I don't fully understand what the anti-competitive thing is. Oh, excuse me, fuck. Because it's their product they're selling. So, you know what I mean? It's like they could set their own prices. So I don't really understand how that works. Like I guess they'll just sell less games if they jack up their price all the time. Here, there's another guy that commented on the article here. MJTH. I don't know. Majith. I don't know. But he commented and said, I'm not quite sure what the case is being made here. They claim is Sony overcharging, but there is no comparison given. Realistically, the argument that will try to be made will either be in comparison to Steam or the fact that Sony has led the charge of prices going up 10 for the PS5 generation. Yeah, which everybody went up in the 5th generation, like in PS5 and Xbox Series X, whatever the fuck their stupid shit's called. PlayStation's digital storefront is generally pretty nice, pretty price competitive when compared to Xbox, and for quite a few cases better than Nintendo. Switch prices are all over the place. Indie games tend to be more expensive than any other store, but Nintendo first party offerings tend to be $10 cheaper than Sony's first party games. But then never deflate and rarely are on sale. You got that fucking right. It's only comparison to PC storefronts, which are generally cheaper. Do the prices look inflated? There's no direct comparison to the mobile game market, which are sadly the actual biggest gaming storefronts. Yeah, again, I don't again, I kind of agree with him. I don't really understand what their whole big deal is with this whole thing because it is their own thing. Like it's their own games. Like Sony games, especially first title, are not available anywhere else. I think they just came to PC, and I don't think they're more on PC. So, and if they're talking about the price jump from PS5, like I was saying earlier, uh, there's they all went up $10. Like all of the first party games are like $80 American, $80 Canadian. Like it's oh, excuse me. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's crazy, but that's that's just how it is. New games are about that much, so I guess we'll see what happens with this. If this does go through, that's gonna be a real fucking blow to Sony. You know, getting getting sued for almost $6 billion American. That's fucking crazy. So I don't know. I personally don't. This is just me. My opinion. I don't think this is gonna go anywhere. If anything, they might send out vouchers or something. You know, like just to save face, Sony. But I don't think. Uh, I don't think the tribunal is gonna get there. I don't think they're gonna get their 5 billion euros. I just can't see it. Like I said, they'll do like the old Nintendo thing where they put out a fucking like a everybody gets a $5 voucher. Like I think that's what Nintendo did back in the day when they had the anti-competition um lawsuit. I think they sent out like a $5 coupon to every person that purchased a Nintendo at that time. I can't remember. The gaming historian did a really good video on it. I remember. But with that particular case, it actually made sense because Nintendo was really doing in the 80s, they really were doing uh things against the competition laws because they're making it that like they were so strict back then. I'm surprised that Nintendo did as well as they did because they were so fucking crazy about like their anti-piracy and their strict quality control guidelines. Like they could only I think a publisher could only publish 2 games a year and it had to be exclusive to Nintendo for 1 year, something like that. And that's why like you got like the if you look at your old Nintendo games, you'll see like a bunch of old like weird game studios like LJN and like Acclaim because it's that's how they got around the 2 titles a year thing. So they did if they could only do 2 titles a year from Konami, well they would publish another 2 titles under Acclaim because Acclaim was owned by it was just a subsidiary or whatever they made of Konami, and the only reason they did that was so they could publish more games, and that was all because fucking Nintendo was all strict and they didn't want people just shoveling shit out there, which makes sense, but it's not good for the companies who want to make a bunch of games in 1 year and then making it exclusive to Nintendo for I think it was a year or 2 years, so I can't remember, but that's obviously unfair competition because Sega wants it on their machine, and whoever else is in the scape, whether it's PC or whatever players were in the game at the time. But either way, I guess we'll see what happens to Sony. Sony, good luck. You're probably gonna need it. So one of the next things I had was there's I just saw this today. But there's a new Jurassic Park survival horror game coming out. Uh, sorry, I'm not ready for this. Yeah. Uh, wait, is it called Jurassic Park Survival? Better not be. Uh, I don't know what this is. Oh, okay. Oh, fuck, this is from 2021. Maybe this is an old fucking story that I got tricked into thinking it was new. What the fuck? I never heard of this anyway. But it's oh, it got canceled, I guess. Well, fuck me, guys. There's this Jurassic Park survival game, and it was supposed to be made by the guys that made Alien Isolation, but I guess it got canceled. Okay, cool. This doesn't look like a new game though. What the fuck? Oh, there's an. Oh my god, there's a Jurassic Park 3 game that was canceled. Weird. Huh. I thought there was a lot of potential for that. Because I think it'd be cool if they made like a Jurassic Park, you know, like an actual horror game where, like, because it would be pretty scary being on like the island where the dinosaurs were and having to like, survive and like hide from the dinosaurs and shit like that. Like Alien Isolation, I don't know if any of you guys played that, but that game was fucking terrifying. And yeah, I don't, huh, weird. Get out of here, Google. Google's giving me pop ups. My pop up blocker didn't block that. But yeah, okay. We'll scratch that until we have more on that because apparently that's just an old thing that somebody was talking about. It looks like it got canceled. So I'll look more into that and see if there really is a new game coming out. Because maybe somebody else picked it up. I don't know. Um, but the other thing is obviously Jennette Mccurdy has been in the news lately. It's a little bit old, but I think it was a little while ago. I don't remember, but so Jennette Mccurdy, everybody from my generation, it's technically like iCarly came on in 2007, something like that, and it it was a little bit after my time. I graduated high school in 2008, so you know I knew iCarly and I had watched a few episodes of it, but I wasn't like crazy invested into it. I definitely liked some aspects of it, and I liked I think that was the show with Gibby. That guy was fucking hilarious, and obviously there's the famous slam he did in there where he fell from the ceiling, and I guess that was actually a real fall, and like it was a stunt fall, obviously, but still, I guess he got hurt pretty bad on that fall, and it looks bad if you ever watch that. Just look up Gibby from iCarly falling. I'm sure you'll find it. Here, I'll look on YouTube right now. I'll see if I can find it. Gibby iCarly takes off shirt. That was what he did on the show. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Holy fuck, that was uploaded 10 years ago. It only has 1 million views? Yeah, but either way, it became like a huge meme of Gibby falling. Or I guess it's Gibby, not Gibi, like I said. But But yeah, either way, I wasn't super invested in that show. I didn't know a lot of it. I was more big into Drake and Josh because that came out like '04, so I was quite a bit younger then, and I love that show. It was really unfortunate to see like Drake Bell is such a fucking creep now, and I think he's going to jail now for like grooming children and stuff, and a lot of weird shit going around there. And you know, it's I don't know, it's weird. I'm just looking up something here. Yeah, okay. I just want to confirm that iCarly was made by Dan Schneider, and same with Drake and Josh, and I think Sam and Cat and Victorious, all those. And they're all like, they're all really good shows for their time. People really love they're beloved shows. Like I would still watch Drake and Josh. Like it's hilarious. And it's very nostalgic for me. And then same with, iCarly to a degree. Not as much, but you know. But all those shows, it's weird. All the, Dad Schneider had a weird thing about girls' feet, and there's all allegations about that. And then I remember there was a whole thing where I can't remember what happened. He got excommunicated from Nickelodeon though because of something. It was it was about, yeah, allegations of abusive behavior, but yeah, he was all around all those little girls, like Amanda Bynes, I think he worked with, and Ariana Grande obviously was in Victorious, and Sam and Cat after that, and you know Jennette Mccurdy, as I mentioned earlier, who's in she's in the news lately for her autobiography, and that's what I was kind of getting at here. But I just kind of wanted to you know, set the backstory of that whole Nickelodeon youth actors, because obviously Drake Bell, it's come out that he's grooming children, and which really fucking sucks because I really like Drake. Like I like them from the shows, right? And it's so disappointing when you learn that somebody like that you admired or you enjoyed watching as a kid turned out to be like a fucking pedophile or a child, a groomer of sorts. I think that's what his whole thing was. He was grooming young girls, but then it's like you look into the sinister background of Dad Schneider and stuff, and his whole abusive, you know he got, there's all these talks about how he was abusive on set, and it's all these horror stories are coming out about him, wanting the little girls to send him feet pics and doing scenes in like, I remember there was one scene where like, I don't remember, it must have been from Victorious or Sam and Cat, probably Victorious, but Ariana Grande was doing like a weird pedicure thing, but she was like putting her feet right in the camera and stuff, and I don't know, it's pretty obvious that it was him being a sick son of a bitch, but I don't know. Either way, but it's like Drake was involved with those two. It's like, and he's all fucked up. So it makes me wonder if it's like, it goes back to the old saying, "Hurt people, hurt people." So I always wonder. I'm like, maybe Dad Schneider or something. Maybe he was fucking being creepy around Drake, and maybe Drake learned it from him. I don't know. Ultimately, we're in control of our own destiny, but it's just like you keep hearing about this weird shit that's happening on all these Nickelodeon shows, and it's really disheartening. And yeah, so that brings us to now. Jennette Mccurdy made her like it's like an autobiography, I guess you could say. It's a memoir more than anything, because she's not dead or really old. So normally you do an autobiography, when you're older, and then if you're dead, somebody does a biography on you. An autobiography, obviously being one that is self-written. But this is, I think she calls it a memoir, but it's called "I'm Glad My Mom Is Dead," and it's kind of, obviously that's kind of controversial for a title, but I guess her mom, I guess her mom died in 2013 of cancer or something. She was fighting it for a long time, but uh, either way, it's controversial. I haven't read the book. I haven't read much into it at all. I do think I want to read it sometime because I think it would be an interesting read to say the least. But supposedly her mom was really abusive too, and it's kind of like a classic example of uh, a parent putting all of their faith and their future into their child. Whereas, like, she's just one of those Hollywood moms. It's not Holly won't, it's Hollywood. So she's very much negligent to Jennette's suffering in Hollywood. And I guess, again, I haven't read the book yet, but this is just what I've heard people saying about it, is that she's had stories about, like, just the weird shit happening on set, the abuse of power, and just abusive actions by, some of the adults on set. And her mom would just kind of say, grin and bear it, that's Hollywood, baby. And there's apparently something about a text about her giving her mom giving her shit, and then at the end of the text being like, also I need money for a new fridge or something. I don't know if that's true, but I thought that was really funny. I'm like, you're gonna give your daughter shit, like, fuck you, bitch. Yeah, I like you're just a little bitch, and you're got an ego. Also, can you give me some money for a fridge? My fucking LG shit the bed. I want the one with the iPad in it. Come on. So again, I don't know if that's true. That's another hearsay thing. I have not read the book, but I don't know. When I was younger and stuff, I always kind of had a crush on her, Jennette Mccurdy. I don't know why. Just obviously Ariana Grande is always going to be my crush forever, still to this day. Uh, well, let's just say both of them. But I don't know. She, I liked her style of comedy too on the show. I like that she was kind of like the tough girl, and she'd always, like, you know, smack the shit out of Jimmy or Gibby and all the other people. It was just kind of funny. A lot of physical comedy. So I always respected her too. So I thought she was always a cool character on there. But it doesn't sound like she did it really doesn't sound like she had a good time on the show. It sounded like there was a lot of weird shit going on, and I think it I think it always, honestly, I think it all stems from that Dan Harmon. Sorry. Dan Schneider, not Harmon. Dan Harmon's the guy that made Community. It all comes down to, yeah, Dan Schneider. I think he's just a creepy dude, and he's got, like, there's a lot of weird pictures of him, like, hugging the young cast members and just kind of being creepy. If you Google it, you could find it. It's I don't know. He's just, one person could be like, it's promo material, but then another person could be like, yeah, it's also kind of creepy. So I don't know. You could just take a picture standing next to them. It's fine. You don't have to hold them. You weird fucker. Jesus. I'm just looking at pictures right now of of him being a fucking creepy guy. Ugh. Okay, I gotta look away. It's too much. But where was I? Oh, there's my tab. But yeah. So, anyways, uh, good on her for speaking out. And obviously the book is is gonna get deep. It's talking, the whole "I'm glad my mom is dead." It's just her, I think that's just her style of humor in a way, and also it's just how her mom was a terrible person to her when she was trapped in that Hollywood machine. And I think it's a lot like the comparison I could make is like if you've watched The Boys, it's like Starlight's mom. Starlight wants to be a superhero so bad. She wants to be in the Seven. And then once she gets it, she realizes it's not all glamour. She realized that the Seven are kind of fucking dicks, and the celebrity lifestyle is a little bit abusive, and there's kind of some crazy shit going on. Uh, but her mom just is like, no, no, you're in the Seven, though, sweetie. You're in the Seven. You gotta respect them. You gotta love them. We're gonna make lots of money. We're gonna be famous. So I feel like that's how her mom was. Again, that's just a sense I'm getting based off everything that I've heard. I do not know her mom, obviously, but I don't know. I think it'd be worth a read if you guys want to check out that book. Just look it up. It's like $13 on Google Play. You can get the ebook. There you go. Yeah, again, that's called "I'm Glad My Mom Is Dead" by Jennette Mccurdy. um, okay, so yeah, I guess the last thing I'll end off here with is it's just another small story, but it's just something for it happened to me last night actually, and it's not the first time, and I'm just kind of wondering what it means, and I'd like to have one of my buddies on here to talk about it with because I know he's a big fan of um, dreams and just, you know, the idea of being unconscious and how our brain works. And to me, ever since I was a kid, dreaming has always been a fascinating thing for me because it's just so weird to me because and there's a lot of dreams you have while you're asleep that are so fucking vividly real that it fucks with you when you wake up. When you wake up, you kind of like, what the fuck just happened? And that's kind of what happened last night. I went to sleep like normal. That's why I'm fucking exhausted today. I was up at like 4 a.m. to leave the house at like 5:30. Had to get on the road, have a long drive. Then, drove 9 hours today, and then I came home and I'm like, I should have a nap, but I'm like, no. If you nap, you're never gonna. That's it. You're done for. You're never doing the podcast. So I'm like, I'll do the podcast first. I'm not crazy, crazy tired, but I'm definitely not 100%. That's for sure. But either way, I I had a weirdly vivid dream last night. That's what I'm getting at. And it was yeah, it was very strange because I know it's one I've had before, but in a different setting. So my dream this time was I was out and it's weird because it came from another dream, just like the other one. I always start in a different dream that I don't really remember. But then I transition into this dream, which I do remember quite vividly, even right now. And it's and it's I was outside of my trailer, like outside of my residence, and I look I was just kind of in a weird area, like a weird I was just standing outside, but the world was different. It was the same world. I was still in the same geographic location that is my trailer, my house. And but the sky was different. It was almost purple, kind of like the podcast background, like that starry kind of shit. But up in the sky, I could see it looked the only way I could describe it is that it looked like a Star Wars, like a laser fight was going on. Like I could see like look like lightning almost, like flash. You know how lightning kind of just has that bright light, like an explosion almost, like a boom, 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 boom. That's it. It was just that. That's all I saw was that in the air, and then like lasers or something. It looked like just beams of light going every which way. And then I looked up and I could see this flying saucer, and I didn't know what the hell that meant. I'm like, oh shit, a flying saucer. So I wanted to get inside my place. And so and then when I looked down at the ground to start walking, the ground, it almost looked like a moon rock. It was like white sand I was walking in, or white, it was the dirt, but it was white. And it looked like it had little holes in it everywhere. Like it was porous or something. And it was just it was so weird. And then I looked up, and again, it looks like a big space battle is going on. All these lights shooting everywhere. And then this UFO, this fucking flying saucer, and it's just a big round one. And it's coming down. It's got lights on it, like it's got lights all around it, and it was just coming down at me, and I couldn't move. I felt like I was almost paralyzed. I was trying to get inside my house, but I couldn't move. My feet would not move. And I just watched this UFO dance around me, and then it was coming closer, and then I woke up right then, and and like, but when I woke up, I was in a pitch black room, but I could still see the visuals of like the space effects. It was weird, like when you look in a bright light, and then you start blinking and you see the image of the bright light when you blink, if that makes fucking sense. Like it got burned on your retina a little bit. That's the only way I could describe it. Is it was like that. It was like the image was burnt into my cornea or something. And then I woke up and I turned on my light, and I'm like, yeah, that was a dream, right? And I just kind of looked at it, and it's just one of those weird dreams where it makes you wake up, and you just, you walk around and you're like, yeah, okay, we're here. It was so real, and it really, it messed me up, and it made my sleep worse because I had to like wake up and like chill out for like half an hour, and then I went back to sleep and I was good, but it's just so weird. And again, the weirdest thing about this dream is that I've had it before, only one other time, but I remember having it before, and I feel like it was this year. But the only difference was I wasn't at my trailer in the first time I had that dream. I was at my childhood home. And on my childhood home, we had a deck that was around the whole house. It was an RTM, so ready to move. And we put it on a concrete basement. And then it had this nice deck that moved. Later in its life, it was around the whole house, but when we lived there, it was only on the one side of the house. But it was the same dream, and only I was on a deck, but I was looking out, and yeah, the whole sky was kind of like this purplish, pinkish, bluish, like weirdness. Only instead of a flying saucer in that dream, I saw like this big. It, it's hard for me to explain to somebody who's not a fucking nerd, but it almost looked like I don't know. It looked like a big mothership, like a big whale of a ship. Like I'm trying to think of a big ship to compare it to. I don't know. It just looked like this colossal, massive ship, and in the way of like a whale almost. Like that's what it looked like for the shape. except for at the back, obviously, it had thrusters rather than a whale tail. But it was weird. It was the same thing though. There was like it was like a laser battle was going on in the sky. So I just saw these flashes of light everywhere, and I was, it was another dream where I remember waking up and I'm like, what the fuck was that about? And that one, I don't remember the dream I came from either, but I just remember, yeah, randomly being on my porch and then just seeing this laser battle and, and like all these lights going everywhere in the sky, and then this weird massive ship just coming out of what looked like a portal almost, but the portal is where all the lights were coming out of, and looked like a space battle of some kind. So I don't know. Again, I don't know what to tell you guys. It was a weird dream, and I've had it a couple times. So I'll let you know if it does happen again. But I think the weirdest thing for me is waking up after those dreams and feeling like they're real or something. So I don't know. Maybe there's a maybe there's an alternate dimension me that's living these events, and maybe he's going to space battles or he's getting invaded by aliens or something. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out one day when we get Elon Musk's Neuralink in us. But either way, that's all I had for you guys today. So thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to follow the podcast on all social media. Links are in the description below, as well as my Twitch and Rand's Twitch. And I will see you in the next episode. Peace out, guys.